I'm at 28 and I have a sister, 36, for the sake of story, I'll just call Jane. Jane is married to Bob and they have 2 kids, boy and a girl. My niece and nephew are wonderful kids and no trouble at all. They fight as siblings do but nothing big. I love them. Now for about 2 years, I did live with my sister. It was a miserable time that really affected our relationship. She saw me as free labor, money and babysitting. Even when I managed to get a small part-time job, she demanded I hand over nearly half my pay or get out. It was hell as she took completely advantage of me. I moved out as soon as I could and we have little contact outside of family gatherings. Now after I moved out, she started complaining how she has no help with the kids and never gets a break. I babysit sometimes, but I have made it clear, just cause I am off work doesn't mean I want an 8-hour day with my niece and nephew. Anyway, she started talking about how she wanted to foster a kid. Not a kid but a teenager. I pressed her for more info on this. She wants to adopt a teenager, so she has a live-in babysitter for her kids. This is her logic. I want a kid around 16 or 17, you know, someone who may have been in the system for a while. They can share a room with your nephew, she only has a 3-bedroom house, or sleep in the garage. They can help me with housework, chores, cook and help me with my business. She bakes and sells cookies. Also babysit the kids so me and Bob can go out sometimes or have some alone time. They'll be so grateful for a home and won't complain. I won't have to pay them at all. And then when they turn 18, I can just sign up for another foster kid. A teenager will be so much easier than a little kid, they will be grateful just to have a roof, food, siblings if they have been separated from their real ones and clothes. I was horrified. Told her it was a horrible idea. She didn't listen to me. She went on with it anyway. About a month ago, a social worker showed up at my apartment to ask me some questions about my sister. She had put me down as a character witness or something like that. I immediately told the social worker why my sister really wanted to foster a kid and how she treated me when I lived with her. The lady thanked me. My sister called crying, saying that she wouldn't be considered for any adoptions or fosters. The social worker told her that they felt her home and her weren't a good fit. She asked if I said anything and I told the truth. She went off on me, hung up and we haven't spoken since. She has sent some angry texts. A couple family members are on her side. They think foster kids are freaking dogs or something and would be so happy just to have a roof and would gladly do all the housework. So, am I the idiot here? How would your sister even qualify for either adoption or foster? There are guidelines about things like how much space must be available and number of bedrooms. Not the idiot. Although it was a really close call since the only reason you told her was to cause drama. There was no reason to tell and no one was ever going to find out why she was declined. If the goal was to protect a vulnerable child, you already had succeeded. Now, if she tries another tactic, she won't use you as a reference and she may successfully follow through with another crazy scheme. Personally, I would question her ethics as a parent and how she perceives her biological children as well. Does she only see them as a burden? What will happen to them when they are old enough to take on chores? Will they be inundated with unpaid labor? One form of abuse is neglect, and if these children are being deprived of love, affection, care, attention, then that can constitute abuse. I would be very wary, given her attitude towards other children and her remarks around her own, but if social services need to be made aware of her treatment of her own children as well, then it should be done for the sake of the children. Your sister is straight up tripping. People who think like this should not even have kids, biological or not. The notion of exploiting a kid for free labor and thinking it's okay because they won't complain and at least they will have a roof over their head is beyond me. Hopefully, there's a note in her record so that she can never qualify for fostering. She probably didn't think you'd have the courage to tell the truth to the social worker, or she's completely blind to how she treated you and how that has impacted how you view her. Either way, she is bonkers. I am someone who has money. I am not extraordinarily wealthy, but I am fairly secure financially. This has allowed me to support my son Jake, 21, and my daughter Darla, 30, as best I can. I paid for all of Darla's college education, her car, and contributed so she could buy her house. I am currently paying for Jake's college. I bought his car, he lives in an apartment that I own, and in the future I will help him buy his house. Jake met Tamara, 32, at a bar, and the rest is history. They have been dating for 9 months. They got engaged 2 weeks ago. Today I mentioned to Jake that I want Tamara to sign a prenup. I want everything I have given to Jake to stay with him in the event of a divorce and to protect a few assets he has in his name. Jake got really mad at me. He said that I was a pessimist for waiting for a divorce, that I surely wanted that because of Tamara's age. Wrong, Darla's husband also signed a prenup and is years older than her, that he is capable of making his own decisions, and that he will never divorce Tamara. My wife is equally angry with me. She says that in case of a divorce women are always more vulnerable. Correct, but Tamara is a very successful woman in her professional field and has said several times that she will not be a stay-at-home parent, so she will not lose her job or salary, and that signing a prenup is bad luck. The only one who supports me is Darla. She says that I'm right and that Jake is being unreasonable. Am I the idiot? Jake and my wife haven't spoken to me all day. No idiots here. You are allowed to be concerned about where assets you've earned end up, but Jake is also allowed to get married without a prenup. Frankly, getting engaged at 21 after 9 months and freaking out when a prenup is mentioned doesn't inspire me with confidence about this marriage lasting, but I hope I'm wrong. I suggest you back off the prenup and reconsider your approach to financially assisting your son if you're that worried about this. Look into trusts, perhaps. If your daughter has one, it's not unreasonable to request that your son get one too. Especially considering the short time they have known each other. My parents were married for 27 years and have been divorced for more than 20. My dad is dead and my mom still complains about how he took half her inheritance and let my stepmom piss it away. You just never know what might happen in life. You're not the idiot, you're trying to protect your child and the hard-earned dollars you want to leave to him. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, technically not the idiot for wanting anything, but the idiot for insisting or doing anything more than a one-time suggestion. The decision to ask for a prenup is your son's and his alone. Your only decision, now and in the future, is whether you want to continue to support your son. For what it's worth, Darla agrees with you because it is consistent with what she agreed to. By logic, if your son doesn't need one because true love, then if she agreed to one, hers was not true love. I, 37, have been married to my wife Regina for 3 years. I have a 16-year-old stepdaughter named Becky. She's the loveliest and has the most generous heart. Her dad, Regina's ex-husband, Brandon, is a nice dude, and we get along just fine due to the fact that we see each other often, and also because Becky joins us for activities, which is always exciting. However, Regina just hates Brandon and always pushes me to have bigger involvement in Becky's life than him, which is illogical since he's her dad before I came along, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing my best to be a father figure to her. So, Becky's sweet 16th birthday was days ago. Brandon couldn't attend due to work, but he came over and gave Regina the gift he brought for Becky, which was an expensive bracelet, and asked her to hold on to it till Becky's birthday party to give it to her and say it was from her dad. Regina said okay and he left. I was sitting nearby when they had this conversation. Regina then said she was planning on telling Becky that the bracelet her dad got her was from her. I said no, that's wrong and unfair to Brandon and Becky if she ever finds out that Regina lied about the bracelet being bought by her. She said she won't find out, but I firmly stated if she tried this, I'll shut her down and tell Becky the truth. She gave me an I dare you look and went about her day. The party came and when Becky started opening gifts, Regina handed her the bracelet and told her she bought it for her. I was shocked as I didn't think she'd actually go through with her plan. Becky asked about her dad's gift and I flat out told her he already sent her this bracelet and that her mom lied about buying it when it was Brandon who bought it. My in-laws and Becky's friends were stunned. Becky asked Regina to confirm, but Regina lashed out at me and denied till I showed them the recipient that came with the box and it was under Brandon's name. Regina threw it, but I retrieved it from the trash. Becky started arguing with Regina and left the room crying, and the party was pretty much over. I literally got yelled at by Regina and her parents, calling me awful for causing drama and accusing Regina of theft and exposing her in front of Becky and her friends. Regina guilted me for not playing along and siding with Brandon against her. She told me to stop advocating for this guy like we were buddies. I said poor guy did nothing wrong and didn't deserve to be alienated from his daughter. Becky hasn't spoken to Regina ever since and is waiting for her dad to come to visit, and Regina isn't talking to me, but me and Becky are good. Am I the idiot? Did I mess up? Not the idiot. You got yelled at by Regina and her parents for causing drama. You didn't cause it, she did, accusing her of theft. Okay, you did, but not unjustly, exposing her in front of Becky and her friends. You warned Regina you would, she thought you were bluffing, that's on her. Now to answer your am I the idiot question yourself, if you have a child with Regina and your divorce, you already know how that's going to all play out. Would you want that? No, because you're not an idiot. But oh my god, she is. You want to know whether you messed up? That would depend on your point of view. You have integrity and refuse to partake in parental alienation, which is that offensive thing your wife tried to pull. You also made that clear in advance. Your wife called your bluff. It backfired. She's blaming you for the backlash. Is that reasonable? No, neither is it fair, but it was predictable. So, in terms of doing the right thing, you did great. In terms of being the jerk, your wife apparently expected to have married. You messed up in that regard. Your timing could have been a bit better. However, it didn't really seem like you had much of a choice in that since your wife made it impossible for you. Good for you in standing up for your stepdaughter's father. Your wife sounds like she wants to create a problem between her daughter and her daughter's father. You are a good man for not letting that happen. You didn't make your wife look bad, you didn't cause drama, she did by her own actions. How did she think she was going to get away with it since her daughter still has her father in her life? It would have come out eventually. My roommate and I are both in our mid-20s, she is a random that took over as a sublet for my roommate and decided to renew for a year. She struggles with anxiety, depression and body image issues and is overweight. She recently brought to my attention that I am triggering her body image issues. She feels that I always walk around in tight yoga clothes and that me flaunting my flat stomach is triggering. She also expressed an issue with the fact that she feels judged because I come into the kitchen while she is eating real food to make a salad and vegetables. She also feels slighted that I never eat the donuts or sweets she offers me, so she ends up having to eat them all herself. She asked that one. I start wearing loose shirts around the house, too. Stop pushing my restrictive diet culture on her by not coming into the kitchen while she is eating to cook unless I am making real food, and 3. To just eat the sweets if I want them. I am a vegetarian and a yoga teacher and have been teaching online classes from home since the pandemic. Vegetables and yoga clothes are crucial for me to live and make a living. I told her that while I am sympathetic to her mental health issues, it would be more productive for her to work on coping with her triggers with a therapist. And that me putting on baggy clothes and waiting until she isn't in the kitchen to eat my salad for dinner is unreasonable. I used to say things like no, my cheat day isn't until Sunday when she offered me food, so I agreed to simply say no, thank you instead. She said I was being fatphobic by not accommodating her need for a safe space at home away from diet culture and has since been posting memes on Instagram. A lot of people are agreeing with her and calling me fatphobic for not budging. I still think this is solidly her problem, as I don't see how I'm doing anything wrong by existing in my own house, but am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I hate those kind of people who have issues with their body image and expect other people to bend over for their need for a safe space and feel judged when someone does something that triggers them in front of them. She finds your flat stomach triggering. She can go to the gym and work out and get it too. She thinks you are judging her by not accepting the junk she offers you. She can stop eating and eat real food. In my opinion, it's understandable to provide a certain amount of flexibility and compromise for a roommate in general. Despite being someone you don't know well, there's likely a discoverable middle ground that needs to be mapped out between the two people with communication. She seems to justify her diet because it is real food or normal, while being unhappy with the results. If she's on the standard American diet that is obviously obesogenic for Americans, she will likely be overweight, then become fatter over time. If she thinks vegetarianism is too extreme and won't work for her, maybe suggest finding healthy animal foods and fats so she can continue her omnivorous way and lose weight too. It's delusional to think the world should stop and accommodate someone because it's otherwise too hard to deal with it and triggering. Sure, it's shame. Sure, it's not fun or fair, but that's life. It's also your safe space where you should dress how you want and be yourself. It's also your passion and job to be fit and make yoga videos. You're definitely not provoking her or teasing her with her weight. You let her be and she should do the same. I'm 34 and my wife is 34. She gave birth recently and we have a baby girl. She was born premature and we had to keep her in the incubator for some time, and the doctors let us take our baby girl home. Me and the wife and our family was happy to bring her home. She's still a bit weak but is doing better, and hopefully everything continues to go on well, but we still have to keep precautions, etc. My dad is 60 and he's a heavy smoker. He is always smelling like cigarettes, dark nails from smoking, and overall when he stays somewhere his smell ruins the whole house. He wanted to stay with us for a month so he can spend time with his granddaughter. Which I think is fine, but I told him that you can stay with us, but don't smoke in the house or near our house. Well, he comes and stays with us, and day one he starts smoking inside the living room and lights up a cigar and starts smoking. It stinks up the whole house honestly, and I definitely know it's not good for our daughter. So, I told him if you want to smoke, then leave my house, we aren't doing that here, you know that our baby is premature and we need to take precautions, yet you come here smoking and all. So he left and was mad at me for telling him to leave. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Everyone knows the dangers of second-hand smoke these days. You're not only protecting your little one but you and your partner as well. To be honest, I wouldn't have let him stay in the first place if the smell clings to him as you suggest it does. So good on you for giving him a chance. Babies are extremely vulnerable, and so are premature babies. This is something a doctor probably told you at some point when it came to things to avoid exposing your baby to. That being said, it's also not his house, and the fact that he was cocky enough to spark up a cigar in the house shows an extreme lack of respect for you, your home, and your family. I'm a current smoker, and I know how bad cigarettes and cigars can stink a place up. It's a smell that lingers, and I don't do that in my wife and I's new house. It's not something either of us want in the home. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. Second and third hand smoke are extremely dangerous to babies, especially premature ones. Who the hell thinks it's okay to randomly light up in someone else's home? That is beyond rude. Your house, your baby, your rules. Your dad is being a giant idiot. He's mad he didn't get his way and you enforced your boundaries, and now he's pouting. Good, let him be mad, your baby's health will always come first. You are your baby's advocate, keep doing what you are doing.